Journal entry for Sunday, April 12th and Monday, April 13th. I'm just going to summarize it quickly. I think on Sunday I didn't go to church. I stayed in until later. I was invited to an NA meeting, and I think that God revealed me more information like in my sleep, because when I got up, I just think I understood because I did pray to know what the mission was. Is it a test for me, or am I supposed to help him? And I think the information that was revealed to me, because I prayed to God because I didn't know the purpose of me going to this meeting. The information that was revealed to me was kind of like one of my first feelings about the soup kitchen, which is that the kingdom of darkness has taken over the soup kitchen. And these are humans, and they do need help, and some will repent, and some can be saved. That's true. But as it currently stood, when I showed up, there were people trying to get me out of the soup kitchen, and I did see other believers being targeted. So I believe what was revealed to me is that we cannot share what is privately discussed, and we cannot share names. This is to remain private. But what I am sharing here, I'm not going to say the person's name, and I'm not going to give specifics, but this is important, and this needs to be said. There are rules in a meeting. There are rules that allow people to share information, and that allow people to get help if they wouldn't. But then there are also people using those rules to hurt others and keep others out. And so I'm making this video now because this is what God showed me. This was the understanding that I had when I woke up. So there was a man that had invited me. He was a bit aggressive, saying the group helps him, and I sure hope it does, and it probably has. But during the meeting, there were a couple of meetings. During one meeting, he started speaking very loud right next to me. And this didn't faze me because I've been through a lot. But I see this was an attempt to try to rattle me. And then I was invited to another meeting. And it was clearly so, because he kept talking for a long time and was talking very loud. And this would have been uncomfortable. But then the next meeting, he mentioned things about violence, wanting to harm women, at least one woman, wanting to kill one woman, and just being very aggressive and rude, like controlling with his speech and very loud in a way that could be intimidating, mentioning that he felt at the time that he wanted to kill a woman. And then he also mentioned that there weren't any women coming to the NA meetings anymore. It was just me. So now I know that people's demons try to mess with me. So that's what this was. But God, I understand why God had me go. And this is not sharing private information that was shared in the meeting for any reason other than this is what is happening. So the soup kitchen has been taken over by Satanists, covens, disbelievers. And if there are good people, they have to be quiet, they can't say anything, and they have to keep to themselves, or they will be targeted. Well, it seems like this NA meeting, there are spirits in people that use drugs. This is not something that was mentioned during the meeting. A lot of people would deny this, but I know this. And some of these spirits, they like to cause conflict, division. Some are violent, some are murderous. There's a lot of sexism too. And these evil spirits like to pit the genders against you. They just like to wreck and ruin everything. So, based on what he said to me and the words he used and the way he was behaving, this man was being used by the devils to keep women out. As I could say that most women would be uncomfortable in an NA meeting with this man there. and he is using the rules to make it an unsafe place for women. The rules are you do not disclose. You don't share what people say in the NA meeting. It's to remain private. The rules are you don't give advice in the NA meeting. So people just talk and that's it. But clearly this man told me everything he needed to tell me, which was he felt like murdering a woman. He was loud. He's like, oh, I can be myself. And he was like yelling right next to me for a long time and then mentioning like all the women are gone. So clearly I'm putting this out here. Sue me if you want, okay? I don't care. This is the truth. These rules are good rules unless somebody is using them intentionally to harass and intimidate other members. And clearly, this would not be a comfortable setting for females. Now, some females will become aggressive themselves and put on a mask in order to protect themselves. But we shouldn't have to do that. Nobody should have to do that, because most people do. Now, I'm not going to shy away from anything. God's put me through enough that I think I've seen most everything that I can see. And it's not going to make me not go. But what I am saying is that this would make a lot of other people not go, even men. Many men would be uncomfortable with the way this man was behaving, using the rules in order to behave in a way that is, it's not direct. It's not threatening the people there, but it's talking about other people and threats towards them. And then speaking in a way that is loud and threatening. So I've seen this before. Loud and threatening, wanting to be violent. It's directed to somebody else. But the people in that group hear it and they see it. So this is what has happened into why it's not a safe place for women to go. Now, I'm not saying he would do anything. I don't believe he would do anything. What I'm saying is that it was not comfortable. And there were women and now there are not. And the way this man was behaving, and he was poking and prodding at me with some of the words he said, clearly this was the intent of him or the spirits in him. I've seen it before. So go ahead, sue me for saying this, but this is the truth. I'm not saying his name. I'm not saying the other people he was involved with. I'm saying that this man was using the rules in order to threaten and intimidate other people, specifically women, so they no longer went to these meetings. They stopped going. So this is a case where we need to be able to give advice. We need to be able to give advice, and we need to be able to share when this happens. So I'm going to do it because it's right. Anyways, so I was planning to go to another one on Sunday. I went to the gym real quick. I was just going to hit the gym. I've had witches and warlocks going to the gym, targeting and harassing me there and trying to frame me. Probably some of the staff is in on it too. I don't know. So I stopped at the gym, and then I was going to head to this meeting that I was invited to. And then I remembered I was invited to a conference, and then I'm going to be late. And the conference is like 5 miles away. No, the conference is 6 miles away. So I wasn't extremely late, but I was kind of late. And I was biking pretty fast, and then I got out of breath. I was doing pretty well, though. But I got to the meeting late. I forgot about it. I was headed to an NA meeting, and I forgot I was invited to a conference first. So I went to the conference, and they were speaking, got me some drinks, got a coffee, got a water, kind of listened a little bit, and then went in. The place was packed. There was hardly any seats left, and there was just a couple of seats in the corner around enemies, people that were hired to get me. So, well, I'm going to say God bless me, because after the Wednesday night meeting, and some people were nice there, not everybody was trying to get me. It's just that in a meeting, there might be 2 or 3 people that try to get me. And maybe there's 50 people that don't. So I'm trying to explain this. Not everyone there is an enemy. But anyways, I'm not even sure who is aware of what's going on. After the Wednesday night meeting, and or this was Tuesday. I don't remember. Anyways, after one of these meetings, then we had to trade cars with my laundry. And one of the women in the car, we stopped at the gas station, offered to get me a drink, and then she got like this ginger soda. And then I'm like, oh, that's the best. I want that too. This is really good. And this is the first day I've drank it. So I've had this almost a week now, and it just wasn't the right time, but it is perfect now. So I got a 2 liter of this ginger soda, and of course it's unhealthy, but it's really delicious. It's creamy, and it's just mildly carbonated. Anyways, yes, it's very delicious. So God bless me there. Let's see what went on at this conference. There was people that were messing with me, and they were sitting around me. So there was a big table, and that was all full. Then there was a couple of small tables in the back with a couple of seats in the corner. And so I got the empty seat. There's only like 2 empty seats right next to each other in the back corner. And then there was enemies around me. So I had my coffee, drinking it. The conference was going on as scheduled. And then they take a break in the middle to eat. To eat. And they like to do things. They like to do things to the food. So I remember before the break, I told the wife of the man who does the seminars that I don't eat pork. And so she knew I didn't eat pork. So of course there was a big smorgasbord of food. So much food. And almost everything had pork in it. But the main thing did not have pork. At least she said it didn't. She said it was beef. Who knows? Maybe she put pork in it. I don't know. Maybe it's human meat, probably. I don't know. But it looked like beef. And I actually okay, you told me it's beef. It looks like beef. It looks good. I'm going to eat it. And there were so many other things. And then there was olives. Oh my gosh, olives and pickles. And there was some fruit. So, but then there was like 5 things with ham in it. So I couldn't get the salad. And then there was cucumbers with ham. And so she usually has stuff with ham in it, which is not good. Anyways, there was plenty of food without ham. I loaded up my plate, and then I tasted one of the little pickles. And the way the pickle looked, I thought I wouldn't like it, but actually, as soon as I sat down, I tasted it, and it was really good. It was really good. So then I immediately got up to get more, because I only got one, because usually they're sweet. And I don't like when the pickles are sweet. That's gross. I just like when they're sour. Well, this one would taste it just how I like. And so then I went up to go through the line again. And actually, as I sat down, I smelled urine. And there were some old people sitting in front of me. So I thought someone peed their pants. And actually, enemies have peed their pants before to ruin my food. So, I actually thought somebody accidentally peed their pants a little bit. So the smell, I don't like that way. The smell was bad, like somebody peed their pants. And I thought somebody accidentally peed their pants. But then I kind of ignored it. The food tasted good. I ate a couple bites. It was so good, I went up and I was just going to get some more pickles. The pickles were in the same thing as the olives. And I'm going to say that this is Sunday night. This is like 7:30. Well, maybe around noon or something. I don't know. Before I left, when I was at home Sunday morning, my father called. And he said he had bought a container of olives. They were on sale. They were on sale and he couldn't find them. And he wanted to make sure I didn't take them. And I said, I don't have the olives. But he was going on and on and on about these olives. He was talking about these olives a long time. And he really liked them. There were these olives with little pimento, peppers inside. And they were marked down to $1.50. And so he bought them, and they were in his car, and then he couldn't find them. And someone else brought them in, brought in his bag of food, and couldn't find them either. So, that light is driving me crazy. Oh. But he just kept going on. So this is strange. First of all, I hardly ever speak to my father. We only speak like once every few months. And then he had to take me to court. And so then for him to contact me again a couple days later was very unusual. Normally I won't hear anything. He's not allowed to contact me. But this day he called me, and he also texted me on my computer about olives, about these missing olives that he spent $1.50 on. He was going on and on about these olives. Well, here, this same day, in the evening, they had the olives with the pickles in it, little pickles, and the olives had the pimento peppers in the middle, just like the ones my father was talking about. And I went to get more, because they were really good. And I didn't want to take them if I wasn't going to eat them. But I took a bite, they were good, so I immediately went up to get more. And then I sat down, and I ate it. And I ate an olive, and it wasn't good. So it was delicious. And then I went to have another bite, and I realized someone had put urine in the olives. There was a container with olives and pickles. Someone had put urine in it, and I just smelled urine. I just smelled urine. But my father called and told me about olives with little peppers in the middle and how good they were. And this is what they put the urine in at the conference. So, and I said, oh, these pickles are real good. And I went to get more. So I think my father maybe was involved in the spell. He was talking about olives with pimentos in it and how good they were. So then I went through the line, and I put a lot of them on my plate, but I only had one little pickle. I tasted it, was good. I got up and went up right away. But like as I came back to the table, I smelled urine, and I thought like one of the old people peed their pants, but no, they must have had a container, like a container with urine in it, and they poured it in the olives and pickles. And I put some of them on my plate, and they were on the fork, and they touched the other stuff, and I hardly got to eat any of this food. They had put urine in the olives, and basically, then there was people around me that were involved in this and were enemies, and I saw them talking. I saw one of them talking to the narcissist, the man with the long blonde hair. So I know he was working for him. But I took a bite of it, and then the man in front of me turned around, and he had a cup of water with ice in it. He said, "Do you want a water?" How would he know I would want a water? They don't ask this. Like, there's water. You normally have to go to the water fountain to get a water. But they had a water. He turned around and said, "Do you want a water?" Because he knew there was urine in the olives, because he's the one that put it there. I believe he's the one that put it in there. And when they give me stuff, it's cursed. And I said, "Oh, no, thank you." And then on the other side of my bag was a cup of water. I said, "I already got water." He was trying to curse me by giving me the water. And he thought I would take the water because I just ate some olives. And this was probably like dog piss, because they've got dogs. They probably had dog pee. And they put it in the olives. And so then I took my plate. I had it heaping full of food. The food tasted good. I wanted to eat it. But honestly, I wasn't really hungry anyways. I go back out into the lobby where the coffee is. And then the man that was sitting in front of me, who I think this is the same one that offered me the water. And he was right around the area where I smelled the pee. So there was like 3 old people sitting in front of me. And it smelled like urine. And I thought one of them peed their pants. But no. I think this man, he got the urine to put in the olives. Then he turned around, asked if I wanted this water. And then I took my plate. I'm like, I gotta dump this. I can't keep this now. I didn't want to throw it away in front of everybody. That's rude. So I went out into the lobby with my plate. Then this man came and he followed me. The man that offered me the water, the man that put urine in the olives. Okay, maybe there's a 5% chance or something that another person did it. If so, he was in on it. And then he came out, or he was actually towards the back of the room looking at me. And then actually I think I had some fruit on a plate and I was finishing the fruit and I wasn't going to eat anything else, just the fruit. And he kept watching me. And then my fruit was about gone, and all that was left was stuff I was going to throw away, and I sat it down. And the man was watching me to see if I eat it. And then he comes out into the lobby. Now, he was watching me from the room, obviously, and I knew. I knew he's watching me to see if I'm going to eat this. Then he comes out and stands next to me. And I said, oh, somebody's messed with my food again. I got to throw it away. At this point, there was no hiding it. I just told him, someone's messed with my food again. And he was like, why? Like, he said something like he didn't believe that. I said, somebody's messed with my food again. I took this whole plate, heaping full of food I would have eaten, and I dumped it in the trash right in front of him. Anyways, I went back in, and they finished the seminar, and I think God might be showing me some more things about the seminar. This is a man who is actually getting rid of demons. And it looks like he's healing people. And he was helping me, and he's helping other people. But what I was shown is, I think what is going on is that he's a fraud. He knew things about me that you would only knew. He would not have known unless he was gifted and had real abilities. He said things about me he would not have known unless he was gifted and had real abilities. But then I went back like 2 or 3 times, and some of the things he told me, I think, he told other people, or he was doing the same healing for other people. So like he would heal one person, and then like the next week he would do the same thing for someone else. And that started to get a little suspicious. And then I asked him, like he would have us ask what to pray for, what we wanted him to pray for. And the first week he knew and he prayed for me, and I believed it was legitimate. But then like another week or 2 later, then he didn't know. And so that was suspicious. And then the group of witches and warlocks wait till the end. They're always the last ones leaving, and they make sure everyone else goes before they leave. They're always there last. And so I thought this man was a healer, and he knew things about me you wouldn't know unless you could discern spirits or had secret information. He knew things about me that a regular person would not know. But then, like a couple weeks later, he didn't. And I asked, what should you like? He asked what to pray for, and I said, because you're gifted, I asked him what he thought. I wanted him to pray because I said, I don't know, I just show up. I wanted him to use his abilities to know what was best to pray for me. And he didn't know what to pray for. So he just said something to me, the same thing he said to someone else. And then this week I tried to wait till everyone was gone for him to pray for me. And I waited a long time. There was a lot of people. And I must have stayed an hour later, and then there was still the group of the narcissist and his friends there. Everyone else had left. So then I go on up, and I tried to talk to him quietly. Talk to him quietly first, and I asked him some questions. I said because he had abilities to know things. So I asked him what this white haze was. The white haze I saw after the communion, and the white haze I saw at a different seminar. This was an NA meeting at a church. They had a white haze there too. They also served food. And the communion, the white haze at the church was after a communion. So this is something placed in the food or drink. But I asked him, and he didn't know what it was. Well, he knew. It's like, oh, that's like they're deceiving you. Yes, that's right. But I wanted to know what it was. And I asked him like how he could, so he hears things. And he said to discern like whether he's hearing the voice the Holy Spirit, or if he's hearing the enemy speaking to him. He's got to discern. So, but he hears things. And I mentioned then I mentioned about the pork, and we're not allowed to eat pork. I mentioned the Acts 15 in the New Testament real quick, and like how when people eat pork, like if you can see what the spirit looks like, how these spirits influence them, like they're almost like oily or dirty from these pork spirits. So what I said to this man, and I mentioned about the white haze at the church, and I said, and this is one of the best churches, because most of them are. This church wasn't into blood sacrifice or anything. So then at the end of it, then he didn't really know anything that would be secret. And then at the very end, he said, and I prayed for a breakthrough. And then that was something. So that he would have had to have knowledge for. So what I did is I let him know. I know they're trying to kill me. And the blood sacrifice, I'm aware of it. And I can see things in the spirit. Not that I'm magical, but God shows it to me. God will show me things in the spirit. So I let him know that God shows me things in the spirit. And I can see when this food is being tampered with at the church, and I know when the churches are trying to do blood sacrifice. And then I let him know that. And then at the end, he did pray for and breakthrough. And then the narcissist and a couple of his friends were still there. Then I left. The narcissist was really waiting for me to go. He kept going to the bathroom. He normally walks everybody out. And he had the spy, the old man sitting in front of me, who I believe is the person that put urine in the olives. He was watching. So when after the man leading the seminar prayed for me, I went to the bathroom because it was like a half-hour bike ride home. And then when I'm coming out, there's the spy. So maybe he's waiting to hear the door open. And then I just kind of walk around and I look at the pool and there's some people out there and I just kind of walk and then he's watching me. And then I kind of stand towards the front. I'm not in the room where the seminar is. He's watching me. He's spying on me. And I actually saw him out in the lobby with the narcissist. So this is how I know too. This is what I forgot to mention. People ask for prayers at the end. People ask for prayers at the end. And there was a lot of people there. And so I wanted to stay late and mention about the pork and maybe ask him some questions that I didn't really want everybody listening to. So then I kind of walk out in the lobby and I see the narcissist, the man with the long blonde hair, and I see him talking to the man that was in front of me. So this is the man that offered me the water. He was around the area where it smelled like urine. And he came out of the bathroom and was spying on me and watching me. And there he was talking with the narcissist. God shows me everything. God shows me. But anyways, I left. I could have went back in that room. And I could have waited. And they would have just been like, oh, and they would have pretended to play a game or have a really long prayer or something. Until I eventually leave. I could have kept staying there. But I didn't. I don't have to. I left. But now here's what I think's happening. Maybe the man leading the seminar, because he has secret knowledge at times, but not always. And the narcissist and his friends stay the latest. They don't leave until everyone else leaves. I have this idea that maybe this man is getting secret knowledge from the narcissist. Um, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, oh, I'm thinking this man that leads a seminar as a healer, and he prays for people, and he exorcises demons. I think most likely what is going on is that he is getting this knowledge from the narcissist. And there's narcissists and witches and warlocks that work with him. So this is just based on when he knew stuff that was inspired, or he knew stuff that you would not know unless you had gifts, and other times he didn't know. And how the narcissist stays last and makes sure everybody leaves. I believe there's some type of deal or agreement going on, and I believe this man has made a deal with the narcissist. The narcissist tells him what to pray for or what people's problems are. And I think that this is maybe how healers work. I think that, so if he is a healer, he gives seminars and he heals people. He is getting this knowledge from the narcissist. And now, as I'm speaking, I was thinking this is how other healers work too. Not everyone, not everybody, but a lot of people with conferences and seminars. And he mentions religion. He mentions Pauline doctrine. He mentions Bible verses, a lot of New Testament, but he reads the Bible. But he is getting his knowledge from the devil. And this is something I have seen over and over again. This conference, I was told to go. You have to believe that Christ was crucified for your sins, and that gets you into heaven, is that Jesus died. And then that is a blood sacrifice, and that allows you to go to heaven. And they have people come in and play guitar and sing. And they do this same song, I believe, when they come in, which is 2 or 3 times, I believe they do the same song. And it's Christ paid it all, or Jesus paid it all. And about how Jesus died, and then we are saved because he died. And I was told before I went, you have to believe this to go. I believe they tried to kill me. They tried to the first time, but I didn't eat. They tried to the second time, but I stopped eating, and now my food's getting tampered. They don't know what to do, because here I am. They invited me here to kill me, but instead, God is showing me. I believe. Now, there's a 1% chance, okay, this is just what I think. There's a small chance that maybe, like something's going on, but maybe I've got it a little wrong. But there's a 99% chance God revealed to me what's going on. As that this man has knowledge you wouldn't know unless you could discern spirits. He has secret knowledge about people, about people's demons, about people's health problems, and what they need. He is given this knowledge so that he can heal people, but he's getting this knowledge from the narcissist. And he does not believe. He does not believe in the Old Testament. He does not, well, actually, he does mention some of the Old Testament. And this actually, in the beginning, was to get my guard down. He mentioned some things that were true. What I'm saying is that he really preaches Pauline doctrine and has the guest singers come in that preach Pauline doctrine. And the coven comes into this Bible study and they preach Pauline doctrine because they are sinning. They have no other choice. They have no other choice. Because without the crucifixion of Christ, they can't sin and go to heaven. Anyways, so then I wait, and and then I just leave, and then I'm outside, I'm on my bike, and then I just sit, and I kind of Then I go around the parking lot on my bike and I wait, and they're still not coming out. I must have been out in the parking lot for a few minutes, another 10 minutes. They didn't come out. They were doing something. They were doing something secret. They were doing something private in that conference room. And they had to wait for me to leave. And it's not just me. They had to wait for everyone to leave. But they absolutely had to wait for me to leave before they did whatever they do. But I hung around outside for a while. No one came out. And then I just left. And it was nice weather. But, I'm thinking, here I am. I'm still alone. I don't have a single friend. I don't have a family member I can trust. I actually got along better with my father than I think we have in a very long time. And he's still not on my side. But when he called and told me about the olives, was he warning me or was he cursing me? I don't know, but I'm just thinking, this is such nice weather. Here I am alone again, and I was kind of bored. I know these people are trying to get me. I know they've tried to kill me. And I'm just kind of biked around and seeing if they were going to come out. I'm not afraid of them or anything like that, but maybe I just talk to them for a minute. But no, I just biked home alone. Alone again. That's okay. I'm not extremely sad about this, but I was just thinking, this wasted time. I guess it's not wasted time, but I could have been having fun. I could have been doing something, and I was just kind of bored. It's 10 o'clock or something, and I'm alone. And if I go home, I'll play with my dogs a little. My dog smells bad because someone sprayed him. I don't have heat. I don't have AC here, and it's just not even that. I just felt like I wanted to do something, and there was nothing to do. Okay, so anyways. I went to bed. There's probably more. I did tell the man running the seminar about the pork, and he probably didn't expect it, but I told him, and that let him know I can see in the spirit. I gave him 2 examples, and blood sacrifice I mentioned. So maybe he told this to the narcissist after I left, and they surely were waiting for me to leave. But anyways, I'm thinking today, what did I do? I don't even know what I did. I think I laid in bed later. I just laid in bed a lot, and then excuse me. Oh, I went someplace. So the woman that pretended to be my friend and took me to her house to take a shower, she told me about this store. So I went there. And it was great. There was another one that was bad. And that was a bad experience. And then this one she told me about was a great place. I decided to bike there. And they had what I needed. And I charged it on my card. But anyways, it was a good experience. And then I left from there. Came back home for a while. I think today was a cherry blossom festival. I forgot to look that up. I went to the gym. I went to the gym for a while. What else did I do? Oh, then I went to Walmart. Okay, yeah. After I went to the gym, I saw some enemies in the gym. Okay, I saw some enemies in the gym. So there was a guy that believes me there, who I think is good. And then there was 2 female employees that are new. And I only saw the one woman one day. And so I don't know whether they're good or bad. But anyways, they might have been trying to frame me for, they mess with the equipment right after I use it. And they do it real quick to try to get me in trouble and get me kicked out of my gym. But anyways, there's 2 female employees. So when I left, then there was a man that believes me, but he wasn't there. It was only there was 2 new female employees, and they were at the lobby desk. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And then I walked to the bathroom, and then I saw a man on the treadmill. They sent people in there to spy on me, and this was an evil man. And I saw him look, and he saw me, and then he looked towards the lobby, and he made a signal. He looked at them, and he had an evil look. So like motioning, like I'm going in the bathroom now or something. So he was on the treadmill by the woman's bathroom, and I was going into the bathroom, and I saw this man, and he was spying on me. And then he turned his head towards the front desk, and he looked at them, and it was an evil look. But anyways, I have already informed, I just told the staff there yesterday. I told the staff on Sunday, and I told the staff like on Friday. Oh, I don't remember which day. I told the staff like 3 different days, okay? So, I don't know. What's going to be is going to be. They have people come in and mess with stuff, like, actually, as I was leaving my home, there was people like pulling out in front of me, and like when I tried to turn back out onto the road, they had a big line of cars, like 10 cars in a row, to make me miss the light. Like, this is very unusual. So like people are pulling out. Oh, there was a red car. So I was trying to turn onto the road, and then this big row of car comes. And then there's one back a little bit further, and then I got out in front of this one. But it was enough space, and there was a red light at this point. And then the person in this red car, they beep at me. And so what I do is I do my wave at them, to see, like, I'm not all the way over to the right. So this is what, so I was turning onto the road on my bike, and there's like a grocery store and stuff here. So it's not a very fast road. It's probably 25 miles per hour. And then less than a block ahead was a light. And so this big row of cars came until the light turned red. Now the light was red, and there was some space, about maybe a half block, between me and this last car. And I was like, I'm not going to wait a half hour to pull out onto the road. This is good. I had plenty of time to turn out. I had plenty of time to pull out in front of this vehicle, because it was like a half block further back. And the light on the other side of them was red. So then I pull out in front of them, and then I go towards the middle of the road, like to the left side of the lane. And they honk at me. And so then I wave at them, and they honk. And so then I like turn around and I wave, and I don't get over, because I'm turning left. I'm turning left at the light. And actually, instead of turning left at the light, there was a gas station. I turned into the gas station, and then there was a sidewalk. So I went on the sidewalk. And I was normally going to go back out on the road like you're supposed to. There was a big row of cars there. This is a small town. This is unusual. They hire people. They had hired people to be out onto the road. I don't know how much money they spend doing this. This is ridiculous. Because it is annoying. But it's not really that big of a deal. And for the amount of time and money it would take to do this, it is insane to think of the amount of effort they put into like trying to run me off the road. But anyways, then I just kept waving. I'm like just waving at this car, just waving at this red car. And then I turned left. No, I'm not going to get to the right side of the road when I'm turning left. And see, there's a red light up there. They do this on purpose. They do this on purpose because they were actually sent out just to ruin my day, I guess. But it didn't ruin my day. Okay, so that was leaving there. Oh, I went to the gym. There was gym enemy. I went to Walmart. Oh, I saw a woman from the Bible study where I think there's a pedophile that runs this church. And she was towards the front. And I saw her, and I deliberately did not go towards her. I saw her. I could have walked up to her. I didn't. I walked past, and I tried to stay away from her. I made a decision to not engage. I could have walked up to her and said hello. I didn't want to. But if she said something, I would have. And then I went in. If they're trying to tell me to go to their Bible study, I planned on doing something else. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But anyways, then I went in, then, I mean, this is crazy. I went into the Walmart. I haven't been in the Walmart in a long time. But it was like 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night on Monday. And as soon as I go in, I see the woman from the church. And then I turned to go to the section. I went in for a reason. There was something in the health area where the medicines are I was going to buy. So then I went that way. And as I'm heading, and I'm looking down the aisles, then I see the two Mormon missionaries. So one of them I've met before. And he acts strange around me. I think he can see my light. But he seems like a good man. He's very young, probably 19. But he seems like a good man. And then there's another man that works with him. He's one of the newer missionaries. And I don't know. He's like a regular guy. This is my opinion. This is more like a regular guy. And he's kind of worldly. Not bad. Not bad. I'm not saying bad at all. But just not as pure. More normal. And so there was both of them there. And then I didn't realize, and I'm walking, looking down the aisles, because I don't know what aisle that I need to go down. And then they're like, oh, hi, Jennifer. They say hello, and we start to talk for them. Like, oh, you didn't send me the video for the conference. There was 8 hours of conferences with, like, their leadership and who they think are prophets and things. And I was going to watch that. And I didn't do it yet. But they said they were going to send me a link, and I didn't get the link. And then I said, oh, you didn't send me that link. There's the one man who seems like he seems more spiritually, he seems more righteous, but he kind of acts strange, like a little trembly around me. So I think God lets him see my light. I think he's a good man. But anyways, then he was making a note, and I hung out for a minute, and then it would have taken him a little bit to find the video link. So then I just headed on my way. And then I heard the one man talking about his girlfriend or something, and it was kind of funny. But anyways, they get new missionaries, they go to different states, and then different ones come in, and they're just going all over. So, I guess that means it's time for me to watch those videos. But what are the odds? Because I believe they were on a bike. Maybe they ride bikes, but maybe they had a vehicle. Oh, I hate that. Well, just to see him when I went in, and the one man, he acts very strange around me, because some people, God allows them to see the light. And some people think they can see angels, and some people can see demons. I think this man, he sees something about me. And some people can, but the other man that was with him, the other missionary that came in more recently, I don't think he notices anything. Maybe he does, but he doesn't act different. And then, as I'm going up and down these aisles, and I see the witch that started working at the soup kitchen. Well, guess what? I stopped going to the soup kitchen after Easter. I haven't been in like a week or two. And now she's working there. But I saw her at Walmart, and she didn't have any makeup on or anything, which is good. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but she was kind of wanting to hide a little bit. And I think she was not comfortable because she didn't have makeup on. But that's where we need to be. We shouldn't be wearing makeup. I said, I don't wear it. She shouldn't be wearing it either. She looks good without it, so. But I think she was, she didn't expect to see me there and was kind of trying to keep to herself and not talk. And I think it's because she didn't have her makeup on, so that's too bad. But I know that they don't necessarily like me, and that they will try to get me. But that doesn't mean, like, I said, I see good in people too, but, you know, maybe that's just something with the way that we're made, where we see good in people, but maybe they're not good. Maybe they're not, I don't know. They say naive, where we can be easily fooled and tricked. Well, I've learned their tricks, but maybe I'm being fooled to think they're good. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I went to Walmart, and everything is so expensive now. I had some cash a random stranger gave me. My father gave me a $20 bill. Said it was for candy. I looked down the candy aisle. I didn't see any good candy. I had to get a medicine. Well, I didn't have to. I decided to get medicine. And then I was walking down the aisle, and I saw umbrellas. I need an umbrella. So they had an umbrella that was all clear, which I'm like, that's neat. And then I open it. I open this umbrella. You know, you gotta know, how big is it? What does it feel like to open it? I open the umbrella. This woman walks past me, and she is so happy. She's like smiling, and she's like, "Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. I wish I wish I had taken a picture." And she was like, "That is so cute. Really, I want to take a picture or video of you trying on your umbrella. That's so cute." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." So then I looked at the umbrella, and I liked this umbrella, and it was clear, so you can see through it. But this woman walking past me, she's like, "That's so cute. That's so cute. I wish I could take a picture of you trying on your umbrella." I'm like, okay, God, you let me know. I'm supposed to buy this umbrella. And I look, the umbrella is $17. The umbrella is $17. And the medicine I bought has 17% or 0.17% active ingredient. So the two things I bought a medicine, I bought a treatment, and it had a 17 right on the box, right on the front. And then this is the one I was going to get anyways. And then I saw the umbrella. And a woman walks past me. She says, "Oh, that's adorable. That's so cute. I wish I'd take a picture. No, really, take a picture of the woman trying on her umbrella. That's so adorable." I'm like, and then I looked, and it was $17. So I bought an umbrella. I bought the umbrella. I looked at the candies. I looked at the snacks. I decided not to buy them. I thought, maybe I'll try to eat healthier now since I'm not going to the soup kitchen. I was already eating a little less, and then I decided not to buy any cookies or cakes or candies. So I don't know. Hopefully this isn't another curse. Because my father gave me the money, and he said to use it for candy. And I walked by the candy, and I thought, I kind of feel like I want to start eating healthier. And I bought an umbrella instead. But actually, maybe I'll buy some fresh fruits. I don't know. Is this like stealing? I don't know. Because he told me to use it for candy. But I wanted candy like a couple weeks ago. And like I didn't want it today. So I still have $15 left. As I said, a stranger gave me money. So I biked home. I had the umbrella is big. I tied it to my bike in an interesting way. Got home. I'm still alone. I've got big plans. There's a big day tomorrow. Things are all planned out on where to go and what to do. And it has been mentioned to me a few times, like, "Oh, there's multiple things going on at the same time." I just pick what I want to. And they're like, "Well, I guess you just pick where you want to go or what your favorite one is." I'm like, "Well, it's not really that. I go where God wants me to." Now, 2 or 3 times people have said to me, where I just go to the one I want to. Well, I think I know which one I want to and which one I don't want to. So it's kind of warm in the house. I guess maybe I'll practice guitar a little bit. Tomorrow morning there is a meeting that I'm invited to, and then there's a music group, and there's another meeting at a church across town in the evening, and it's another full day. Oh, I tried to sign up for Spectrum again. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've tried to, not Spectrum, Brightspeed. This is the 3rd or 4th time I've tried to get Brightspeed. Every time there's a problem. And this time, I click the link they send me, it doesn't work. So last time I wasn't there, and they said, "We need to finish this thing." This time I was there, and it doesn't work. And I've tried several times. And then it asked me verification numbers and verification questions, and it just has random people's names and asking things about subdivisions that have nothing to do with me or my property. So, this, if God is trying to block me or something, this must be another mission. Because, I think this is the 4th time I've tried to get Brightspeed. They have an automated system. Nobody can do a manual override. and it doesn't work. It never works for me. You know what? I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. So, it's trying to pull questions like with my name and my property, looking for a mortgage, but I don't have a mortgage. My house was purchased with cash. There is no mortgage. So it pulls up it's generating questions to verify my identity based on a non-existent mortgage and random people, which may or may not have anything to do with me. So it's this stuff again. This again. This is ridiculous. Brightspeed, you should give me free service now for the amount of time I've wasted trying to sign up. um, and now the spectrum rates keep going up, and I can't get the Brightspeed. And the Brightspeed's a little ogre. Yeah, I think that's about right. It is an ogre demon. Because you got better prices, and I can't sign up, and it doesn't work. Anyways, a fraud and a scam. I've got a big day tomorrow, so I'm gonna enjoy my ginger ale soda and get some sleep. It's like what these people do. Like if the narcissist paid, it looked like the narcissist paid a guy to put urine in the olives, and my father knew about olives. Like, what is this? When do things start turning around for me? Well, hopefully it's tomorrow. I've had about enough of this. But thank you God for the ginger soda.